Not a flashy person, he's going to get the job done. Everybody knows that when you're dealing with Dave, you're dealing with a straight shooter. And I think that's the key to his success, is that everybody knows that if Dave says he's going to do something, he's going to do it.
In the early 90s, it was summer of violence, and a fellow named Dave Stalls had started a concept called The Spot to reach out to at-risk youth. And I went on his board. That was my first exposure to The Spot, and then ultimately Urban Peak. The Spot was basically some outreach, but also was open from 5 to, I believe, 10 o'clock, most days, and that was a safe place for youth to come, and we had activities there and some job placement services and a number of other programs for youth. What resonated with me about what The Spot was doing was reaching out to at-risk youth, teenagers primarily. I had 2 daughters that were teenagers, and as I think most parents know, that time of development is just difficult in the best of circumstances. To not do something to help them, to put support systems in place, it seemed like I have to. It's just something that we all needed to come together to make happen.
That we wanted a place the kids could be safe, that they could be expressive, that they could be, we could find help for them and services, and Dave was a deep believer in that. Dave comes at it with that mentality is, we may not get it right the first time, we may not get it right the second time, but sooner or later we're going to do something that's pretty special. And that's the kind of person that he is, and that's in his DNA to do things in community. When I was on the board with him of Urban Peak, he had a certain way of making sure that the decisions we were going to make around Urban Peak were really the right ones for the young people that we were serving. His ability to analyze a problem, make sure that we're looking at it from all different ways, and then coming to a decision that's really a decision of the group. Dave has a wonderful way of helping when you're having difficult conversations.
When you look at what these at-risk youth, homeless or at risk of being homeless youth go through, some of the difficulties in their lives and how they persevere. And what's amazing when you meet them one-on-one, how smart and creative so many of them are. For those youth to have the support systems in place to help them help themselves, to get back on track and find a pathway to independence and success, that's what motivates me. It's just amazing to see what the staff can do in the lives of these young adults and turn them around and literally saving lives every day. And it's hard. I can't imagine anybody not being inspired by the work that Urban Peak does.
I can always remember in board meetings when we started talking about some tough issue, Dave would say, I've already talked to them about it. He'd always had that ability to reach out to people and talk to them one-on-one to make sure that their voices were heard, whether it was senior staff, other people on the board, or the key supporters of Urban Peak. He had the ability to go out and ask the tough questions, listen carefully, and bring that information back to the decisions that we were making at Urban Peak. I think that's Dave's greatest quality. So that's what I remember of Dave leading that charge and bringing the resources to the table to make it happen. That's what a risk taker is, and that's really what a Maverick Thinker is.